I am here once again, not in the MR2. And speaking of not being in the MR2, I'm going to have a couple questions for you about that. But before we get into those questions, I want to say that stick around for the end of this video, because there's going to be something pretty cool that I've never done before on this channel, and it's kind of a new thing for me as well, and I'm excited to share that with you. So stick around and wait for that. But anyway, as I was saying, I have two questions for you. First one is, what do you think about having multiple cars? Okay, now the knee-jerk reaction to this as a car enthusiast, which I'm assuming you are since you're watching this video, is probably to be like, well, multiple cars is fantastic. You know, who wouldn't want more than one car? But it's not necessarily a decision that makes sense, and especially not for everyone. So the good thing about having multiple cars is kind of the obvious one, that, you know, if something goes wrong with one, such as the MR2 right now with its broken wheel, wow, that sun is intense, you have a backup. You know, you're not stranded. You don't have to rent a car or use public transit, although depending on what area you're in, public transit might actually make a lot of sense. But I can tell you, in Southern California, it's horrendous. Anyway, so you have a backup. You know, I'm still able to go around and do things even though the MR2 can't be driven right now. The other great thing about having multiple cars, which is why I actually chose to get an additional car, is that you can have kind of specialized cars for different needs. So the MR2 is generally what I drive on the weekend, and I take it to shows and meets and track days and canyon driving, and it's just the fun car. And then, you know, the other cars are sort of more your everyday cars. Like, I take the Mazda to work every day. The Lexus is not really a needed car per se, but I just kind of ended up acquiring it, and it's a really nice, enjoyable car to drive. You know, I like the look of it. It's very comfortable, and it has, you know, reasonable performance as well. So, you know, those are kind of the upsides to having multiple cars. But there are downsides too. So obviously it's more expensive. Okay, the more cars you have, the more you had to pay for cars. You also have more insurance all the time. And if something does go wrong, with multiple cars, you have even more problems. So, you know, it's nice to have a backup car, but you also run the risk of having more overall problems because there are more cars to maintain. The other issue that could be a major constraint for some people is space. Okay, just having somewhere to put cars can be a serious issue. You know, you might not want to park your cars on the street, or there might not even be street parking. You know, for some people, even getting like one covered or indoor parking space can be difficult to do, depending on where you live. So multiple cars can definitely be an issue. For instance, I know somebody who would really like to get a second car. In fact, he's actually married, so having two cars would totally make sense. But because of where they live, they would have to actually rent a second off-site car space for exorbitant amounts of money every month. So it just doesn't really make sense for him to do that. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Is it good to have 2 or 3 cars, or does it really make a lot more sense to have 1 car? What is your opinion on why is it good to have multiple cars? Why is it good to have 1 car? So let me know what you think about that. So my second question is to do with the current MR2's issue. So in the last video, you know that I'm looking for a wheel, and you know, a lot of you guys helped me out with recommendations on where I could look and that type of thing. But in that first video, when we found out that the wheel was broken, I asked you if I should just get another set of wheels. So I want to ask that again, but more specifically. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Regamasters are quite hard to find replacements for. So it could be an extended period of time before I get a new wheel. I could buy a pair of them, which would make it a little bit easier, but I don't really want to do that, and honestly it could still be a while to wait. Anyway, so if I look for a different set of wheels, what do you think I should get? And this is a genuine question. I want a wheel that, of course, looks good. It needs to be 17 inches by 8 inches and 9 inches for the staggered setup. And I'm looking for something that's somewhere between like plus 30, plus 35, something like that. Let me know what you know of. I want a pretty lightweight wheel. That's one of the fantastic things about the Regamasters. Of course, it also makes them more fragile. But I don't want something that's really heavy. You know, I'm definitely looking for a genuine wheel, not like a knockoff. Anyway, so those are my questions for you. The next thing that we're gonna do is show you some cool stuff at Cars and Coffee. I know you've seen my Cars and Coffee videos before. I do this a lot in vlogs, but it's gonna be something new for you, like I mentioned earlier, that should be pretty cool. So see you there. All right, we're here. Let's go check it out. I like this really low-key 458 parked over here. Next to nothing in particular, where I parked. There's an F40 over here. Wow, definitely did not expect to see that here. Living in the area that I do here in Southern California, it's easy to kind of become jaded from cars, but an F40 is pretty cool.
you smile.
Hurricane warning.
I see your face, the way you smiled. That's the way it's got to be.
Something is going to happen tonight. I can feel it.
Nothing bothers some people. Not even flying saucers. Boys from the city. Not yet caught in the whirlwind of progress.
Quit stalling, Ralph. Come on.
I see your face, the way you smile.